Hello everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome to Vault Hunters. I have covered this pack before on my channel and I'm revisiting it now. Um, we've been kind of waiting for the release of the pack when they actually have the final vault done and something to look forward to, but I think at this point now they've got most of the things set up and working the way it should be for the release. Just missing that actual final vault, but there are still major changes going on, like they just changed monoliths completely, so who knows what's in store moving forward. But I hope, if we start now that nothing changes big before the release that will have to cause me to restart in the pack. Maybe the ordering of some of the quests, as I'll go over here in a little bit. But I apologize for the rain. That just started as I started recording, so that's kind of a little bit of a disappointment there. But for those of you who are not familiar with the pack, we'll go over that quickly. This is an adventure style pack, much like Prominence, which we just finished up with. And it does have quite a number of mods in it, but a lot of the mods are locked down because you have to earn knowledge points, which you get from the vaults to open up the mods in the first place, and then you'll need materials from the vaults to complete or to make a lot of it, because all the recipes have been changed that include these materials that we get from inside the vaults. What is a vault? A vault is basically a separate dimension that is created when you use one of these vault crystals on a portal, and it will take you to a separate dimension. That dimension is basically a unique area which will have a number of rooms in it, and each rooms will have several points of interest within the room, which will have some mobs protecting some chests which have the loot in it. There are different kinds of rooms. There are generic rooms. There are special rooms with different rarities and different themes, both for the vault in itself and for the specific room. Some rooms are quite unique in their design and everything. A lot of the aesthetics are pretty nice in there. You start off the pack. If you start in an overworld pack, then you're basically going to be doing a good amount of general Minecraft stuff for a little bit. There's a few things that you need to get before you can start going into the vaults themselves, but it's not a whole heck of a lot of stuff, but it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. You'll start off the game with the Vault Hunter's manual and a quest book. You can pretty much throw the quest book away because you can set that to a keybind, which I've done. And if you're not familiar with the pack, obviously read through the Vault Hunter's book, because it will kind of guide you on your way through. So I have been doing the general Minecraft stuff and things. I've decided to make a treehouse type base, so this will be kind of like a skyblock build up here, up on top of this huge spruce tree in the middle of a spruce biome, but I've got a dark forest nearby, and we've got some nice views from up here, which is kind of why I chose this one. It's kind of on top of a hill on this sort of isthmus type area, surrounded by rivers, and we've got some different biomes around, so it's not too bad in that regard. On the map here I can show you we did quite a bit of exploring, but even in the amount of time that it took me to get from my spawn up and around down here, it took me even longer to find my first resource that I needed to actually get the things needed to get into the vault. So we'll go over the quest book, because that's probably the main thing that you're going to want to use to guide your way to getting into the vaults quickly. You don't even have to go there too quickly. You can do lots of general Minecraft stuff, but just be aware that even like my full set of iron armor here has been nerfed quite heavily. Like each piece only gives me +2 armor. So getting into the vaults and getting some gear out of the vaults, especially when you complete vaults, and also do some of the bounties, you can get gear as rewards, and that's going to be a lot better, and you'll be better off for going to the nether, going to the end, and doing that kind of stuff as well. So we'll take a look at the quest book here. I've done quite a few of them already, except for this one here, jumping into the vault, but we'll go over them. It's not a whole lot of them, but the first one here, it'll give you an introduction and will give you some food. So I complete that right as soon as I get into the world, so I've got a little bit of food for running around and exploring. And then the second quest is going to ask you to find chromatic iron. This is still a huge issue in this pack, even though they've done some changes to the way it spawns. Like I said, it took me the better part of 4 hours running around in open cave systems. You know, a lot of that is, you know, lighting up the cave, retreating to, you know, either make the mobs disappear or fighting off the mobs, and so on and so forth. But still, I explored a ton inside the caves trying to find the chromatic iron. But anyways, anywhere down Y-30, you can brute force it by digging around as well, but you're going to be much worse off in that regard trying to find it. Also, there's other tricks, like I think it spawns less when exposed to air, which is a thing. So maybe if you can do underwater exploration, maybe that'll help you there. But I've never had, in all the different dry runs that I've done through all the different updates that they have had here, I've always had a problem finding this stuff here off the very hop. But basically, you go down, you'll mine up 16 of it. It spawns in great big veins, so that's the only positive things. When you do find it, then you'll have access to lots of it. And then as a reward, you'll get a bunch more of it to help get you through these first few quests as well. The other resource that you want to be looking at when you're down in the caves is finding this vault stone. So basically, it's this dark looking stone like this. This is the cobbled version, but the regular version that you'll find will have a smoother texture, and it will be quite dark. So if you're not lighting up your caves, it'll be real easy to miss down there as well. But you'll build your portal out of this vault stone, and also building your... There's a few other things that we'll need it for here in the early game, but I've just wanted to jump into a vault quickly, as quick as I could. Especially got quite impatient there towards the end of my searching around down there. So with that vault stone completed, it will give you 8 of these chipped vault rocks, and with that you can actually make the vault rock, which is the blank slate that you need to make this vault stone, which I have in my hand here. The recipe for that is just taking 1 of the chromatic irons and 4 chipped vault rock out of it. And then what we do with that is we'll put it into the vault altar, which is the next quest. And you just have to build a vault altar, and it will give you a button, and I'll explain that here in a quick second. So let me just grab because we get, once you make a vault rock, it'll give you 1 as a quest reward, so we've got a second one here already. So you'll just click the vault rock onto the altar, and then it will display some items that you have to sacrifice to the altar in order to charge up your vault crystal. So this one here is going to take 2 dirt, 1 stick, 6 seeds, and 3 copper. Note that in the early goings, you'll have it'll show like maybe some different items. Like if there was smooth stone on there, it might cycle between stone, diorite, granite, like all those analogs for each other. It might cycle through, and you'll be able to choose from among those. So I actually happen to have 6 wheat seeds right here, so we'll just pull it out of the chest, throw it on there, and then it will obviously complete that. We'll need to cook up some copper for this one. We'll need a stick, so just open this up. I'm going to just push Q on the stick, and it'll throw it out of the chest, and the vault altar sucks it up. It's got like a magnet effect on it, so that's why I have my altar right next to my storage system here. So similarly with the 2 dirt, and then we just need this, waiting on this one. Now I'm not going to complete this one right here right now, because the level 0 vault crystal will create after you hit the button, because you'll need to give this a redstone signal, and it will create at the vault level that you're at, which is this one that's above my hunger bar here. So because I'm level 0, it will create a level 0 vault crystal, and then the level of the vault determines the contents of the chests, and also how hard the enemies are in the vault. Right, so once we've got the vault crystal, it will give us a shulker box once we've completed that. This is going to be super important because there's going to be tons and tons of loot that we're going to want to bring out of the vault with this, so the more storage the better. And yeah, having these extra 9 slots here is going to be super critical. And as well with the shulkers, if you don't know, you can kind of just right click on things in your inventory. You don't even have to put it down to put the things in. And let me just double check. So there. Don't forget to get this back. All right, whisking through these here. Then the next quest, it will tell us about skills and talents, and it will give us a skill point as a reward there. Then it will go on to the better enchanting. This is going to talk to you about this vault enchanter block here. So this is a super great addition to the pack. I really loved it when they add this guy in here. It will give you a limited number of enchants, but it gives you the highest level of the enchant, as well as being super cheap to do it. So this only costs 1 experience level, 5 emeralds, and I get Breaking 3 on there. No more wading through villagers and cycling trades and doing all that kind of stuff, which is in here. There's easy villagers in here, but this just makes it so much easier, especially at the start of the pack, just to get into it. So I've taken my diamond pickaxe, which we need a diamond pickaxe because the vault altar requires 2 obsidian, and then making the vault enchanter itself requires an enchanting table, which is 4 more obsidian. And then obviously the enchanting table requires 2 diamonds. There's another diamond here, so we're going to need total of 6 diamonds if you don't get lucky finding your obsidian in the world. If you find in your adventures 6 obsidian, then you don't even need to build a diamond pickaxe, and you might be able to get away with just an iron one, in which case you probably don't even need to enchant it going into your first vault, because after we come out of the first vault, we'll be able to make the vault-based tools, and we'll go over that in the next episode, not necessarily in the first episode here. Clipping right along here. Once we've made that Vault Enchanter, it'll ask us to make a Vault Potion. This has really eased off the choice, or really opened up the choice for your first skill point, because before they added the Vault Potions in here, pretty much your first skill point was always designated to be in healing. But now with this, we do have some version of healing while we're inside the vault, because our health won't regenerate normally. One of the changes inside the vaults is you won't regenerate health off of saturation. So we need some source of healing. In the early game, Vault Potions is the perfect one, and it will give us an Ender Pearl as a reward, which is great because that leads us to not necessarily the next quest, which is Vault Hunting, which requires us to enter a vault. But the weird thing here is I think this quest should be above here. We should actually have this shard pouch before we enter our first vault. And we'll go over that in just a quick second here, because once we enter in a vault, it's going to give us a vault sword and a vault shield, which is why you see me without a weapon or a shield going into this first vault, because I know that I'm going to be getting that right away here. And then with these vault potions, just note that these are called vials. There's 3 variations. And then, because if you're typing potion in the JEI, you're not going to find it. You'll find the second tier versions, which is these ones here, but not the first tier, initial tier, because these require vault resources, so you won't be able to get these until you've actually been in the vault. And obviously, you can't go into the vault before you go in. Yeah, you don't even want to go to the next, or go into the vault without having a vault potion in the first place anyways, because you'd have to use your first skill point on healing anyways to be able to stay in there, in my opinion. If you're super good at fighting, maybe not, but there's always mistakes you make or whatnot that'll necessitate going in there. Speaking of our skill point here, the default keybind to look at your skills is H, and that will bring up this screen here. It will show us a bunch of stuff in the GUI, which, our ability power, armor, all the stats over there, which obviously at the very start, it's not going to be almost anything. Place where all of our trinkets are, our armor. The next tab here is our abilities. So we can use a skill point on an ability. We could also use a skill point on a talent as well. The next tab here is expertise points. We'll get 1 expertise point every 5 vault levels. So we obviously don't have anything to do there. And then the next one is our researches, which I hinted at earlier. This is where once we have knowledge points, which we have to make with loot from the vaults, then we can choose which mods we want to open up with the knowledge points that we have. But for right now, we're just going to go over the skills and the abilities. So like I mentioned before, having the heal is used to be one of the main ones, but we don't actually even really need to take it now because we've got the Vault Potion right off the hop. Then there's damage abilities in here, there's defense abilities in here, but in my opinion, the most important thing in the vaults is mobility. Being able to move through the vaults very quickly, as well as being able to, maybe get away from enemies in a pinch if we need to. And just navigating our way through the vaults is the most important things. So what I always take with my first point is called dash. So dash propels us in a distance in the direction we are facing. It's got a cooldown, it's got a mana cost, and a distance that's not 1 block necessarily. That's kind of the power of the dash, and it will send you depending on which way you're looking and facing. So yeah, I'm going to take dash first so that we can move around inside the vault a little bit quicker. It's got some modifiers on here. I'm not going to worry about the modifiers off the start, just because I like the vanilla dash in itself. And then I've also set a keybind for this ability, and that keybind I've set to F. The other skills that you can consider for your first vault might be Vein Miner. You might want this just for collecting resources in the overworld, but it also works in the vaults if you need to get some of the vault ores, but probably don't need that. Healing is the other option, or if you wanted to start on getting some damage going, you could take one of the ranged weapons like Javelin. What was the other ranged? Storm Arrow. I don't know what this one is. That's a pretty new. Fireball. There's another one that you can take, but basically you'll want to have some ability power before you take any of these abilities. But to each their own. I just like mobility in the vaults as such. The other, with my next 8 points, I designate towards speed. These cost 4 points per level, and I like to get up to level 2 as soon as possible, just so that we can move from room to room inside the vault a lot faster. So let's jump into the vault. As I mentioned earlier, I am taking the resources I need to make this shard pouch once I get inside the vault, because once we start killing enemies, they're going to be dropping soul shards. And those things pile up really quickly inside the vault. So you have to build a portal. Just the minimum size is the nether portal size, so 10 blocks, right? 3 by 2. And then we can just jump on in there. Take a second or two for it to load up the area. And then like I said, we're in here now. We've completed this quest, so I can do that, and we'll get our reward, which is a sword and a shield. And then we can also come in here and make our shard pouch, and then claim the reward for the shard pouch, which is the most important thing. This will give us a pouch, so this is going to be like a backpack. And it also gives us some upgrades for it, but we don't need to worry about that too much. And then this next step should be the first one after our first vault, because the bounty table requires vault resources to make. So we'll just go to our pouch here. We'll install the upgrades. I don't need the upgrades on, so I'm just going to turn them off for now. And what we can also do is right click on our 2 vault items that we got for our rewards. Oh, hey, we got a blue one, which is normal quality. This is gray is common quality. And we got actually a pretty decent roll on the damage on it, so that's not too bad either. But now I have a weapon and a shield, so we can start going through the vault. For navigating through the vault, there's different things that you can do. You can bring some blocks into the vault. Also, we're going to put this into our belt slot, so that's not on our bar. And we can access it. I've got a hotkey B set up to look inside my pouch. I don't bring any blocks in here because that just takes up inventory space. But what I will do is open up my chat and indicate to myself which way the vault room comes in here, because this room is in the exact middle of the vault, but it's only accessible from one of the 4 cardinal directions. So we'll come into our first room here. I typically pass over the first room because worst comes to worst, if I don't complete the objective, which this in this version of the pack is always going to be an elixir vault, I can always come back here with like 5 minutes remaining, do a little bit of looting in this room, and then head on out. Escape from the vault the way we came in. Also, always in this first room, there will be the lodestone for the elixir vaults. There will always be one in this particular room, which is kind of like the start room. But I'm just going to progress to the second room here. And we can go over this. So generally there's 3 levels to each room. So there's an upper tier, some rooms, some areas up there, which can be accessible in different ways. It doesn't seem to be an easy staircase to get up to them here, so maybe we have to go there. I seem to have... There was a... Aha! There's a point of interest up there. And this brings me to why I have the dash skill, is because it allows me to jump up areas like that without having to build up. So this is a point of interest, comes with a spawner. The spawner will spawn a certain number of mobs and then fizzle out or disappear on you once it's spawned all the mobs. So in here we'll have some loot. I've set up my middle mouse button to be this sort container key that just makes looting these chests that much faster. So there's a quality of life little thing that we can go here. And so these chests here that have this kind of texture are called living chests. They've got a specific kind of loot associated with them. We won't cover that here in this episode, but it is kind of nice to get some of those here right away. And this was the point of interest that I procced already. I'm just grabbing everything for now, and we'll worry about sorting it out in a little bit, because a lot of this we don't need. It's a lot of these blocks that we're getting in here are just cosmetic blocks. But what I do is I'll use some of these for doing some of my traversing around. To get out of this one here, I do need to build up a little bit. Zombies. Spiders, which came from this one down here. So that one was a Omega. You get a certain, they have different rarities on these chests, which also determine what you'll find in them. And here we have some vault ore. Caught up to me. The one thing about the multi-level system here is you'll get guys that sneak up on you quite often, which is why healing is such a big thing, because if I didn't have the healing there, I might have to retreat out of the vault. Slimes. Oh, that's weird. They typically release a poison, but they are just like vanilla slimes. They won't hurt you once you get them down to the baby size. And now that I'm on the very lowest level, I don't have to worry about things coming up from below me. Where was that point of interest? Where did that guy come from? Not 100% sure. This is that first one, so this kind of includes everything that was open on the ground level. Or not the ground level, but the first kind of floor. Now that our inventory is quite clogged up, I can start getting rid of some of this stuff that isn't really needed. Now, you're not going to know this in your first, this is the first time that you're playing. So I apologize for that I just kind of know which things are useful and which ones aren't. There we go. That slime actually made a poison cloud. Slimes typically make poison clouds when they die, which is why I don't kill off the tiny baby ones, because they're not bothering us really. Just those through there, and I think we're done. So because we came into this and our first direction was north, I usually just keep heading in that same direction. So we'll head north to the next room and continue looting. Well, there's a diamond. Kind of regret not putting fortune on my pick here now. Oh, so this room is one of the special rooms. This has just a whole bunch of diamonds. This is the only thing that we'll find in this room. And because I don't even have fortune on this pick, I'm not even going to bother with it. So let's just keep on chugging. Now, the theme of this vault is the elixir vault. Basically, the idea with the elixir vaults is you come into them and you get elixir from doing all the vault related things. So killing mobs, opening chests, mining ores, the vault ores. You don't get any from the vanilla ores as we saw. Digging up these coin piles, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time because you can see how long it takes to break those. It's kind of not worth it until you get your first vault tool with a jewel on it for coin affinity, which we'll cover in the next episode. Also, now that we've got quite a bit of stuff in our inventory, we can choose the things that I want to be in my my pouch, my backpack, so to speak. And it'll be easier to put things away a little bit later. I want to come down here, I guess. Yes. Uh-oh. Thought I heard a baby, but I think these guys just make baby sounds to make you nervous. I want to sort my inventory and then get rid of a whole bunch of that stuff. I'm going to keep those so I can make some more temporary blocks. Might be one up there, but I'm not too worried about it because we got to start going faster actually if we want to actually complete this vault. Alright, and with these walls here for that exit, that means we kind of reached the edge of the vault. And the only way with this shape of a vault, which is the diamond-shaped vault, the only way to go out of it is to come back in the way we went. So we're headed south now. And then each vault has a 30-minute time limit. So that's why I value movement so highly in here, because you only have a certain amount of time that you have in here to be able to complete your vault and get out with your hard-earned loot. This vault's a little bit more wide open. And again, the medium slime didn't leave any. This is the lodestone. So in the elixir vaults, once you've filled up your elixir bar at the top of the screen there, then you'll go and click on one of those guys to complete your vault. I hit the little spider. Thank you. So see all these purple orbs that fly out of the chests and the monsters after you've killed them? Then that's what gives you your quote-unquote elixir. Aha, here we are. And again, I'm full up on inventory slots, so I have to get rid of some of the junk. Remember, I wanted to do this just so I have some building blocks if I need them. And the stuff that I'm interested in. So, kind of try and keep my inventory regulated as I go. I keep forgetting to do it properly because I'm concentrating on trying to make the video at the same time as running the vault here. So the little spiders inside the vault don't actually hurt us or poison us. They hurt us, obviously. Oh, and if I click this button, anything that matches what's already in my bag will go up automatically. So that's a super handy one. And now I can do this, and a lot of these things that I want to keep will go on my top bar, and the junk stuff will be easier for me to throw them in there. I'm not going to bother with that one. It's going to suck up a lot of my time just to get what's inside one chest, whereas I kind of want to keep on trucking on here. So I came out of the room going south, and then I went one room to the west, so I want to keep going south now because I'm doubling back without retracing my steps. I'm going to be headed back towards the room number 1, the first room. Oh, this is a special room. This is a village room. This has got a downstairs area where all of the stuff is. And we can hear the villagers that are spawning. And all that killing just for nothing. A little bit of elixir, which didn't even need. I'm trying to find where the downstairs part is, but that's where, if you go into the downstairs, you'll find that's where most of the good stuff is, which I can't even find. One normal chest, which is totally unexciting. But maybe you can find other useful things like brewing stands, etc. Maybe. Sometimes maybe the way down is inside. Yeah, there we go. There's a thing. I'm not going to go down there because it will be full of illagers. And with my garbage gear on, I'm not going to survive very long down there. So I'm just going to truck it on out of this room. This one's a little bit dangerous for my taste at this point. Here's another special room. This one's, again, another super dangerous room because it's got a whole bunch of illagers in it. I'm going to go back this way towards the main line that I was on. If I had better gear, I'd take on that room, but I don't. And this should be the first room, so which means this road south should go back to see the vault portal there. And we've still got 8 minutes, so I'm gonna see if I can't go over here, but we got a super stingy elixir vault here. We're not gonna be able to finish it. A little bit because I've been talking and concentrating on narrating and not fully focused on looting. But also because this guy with a thing above his head, he's a champion mob. And that was well worth killing. I got a pog. Okay. That's a ridiculous find there. Also got a decent little a blue sword, guaranteed. Still 6 minutes left, so I'm going to keep looking around here. In the next episode, I can talk a little bit more about the chest types and such that we'll find in here, because some of them are, well, some of them have different types of loot, right? So sometimes you'll come into a vault specifically targeting different specific kinds of loot, but for my first run, generally I just grab everything that I can. And then sometimes with the elixir vaults, you'll notice that certain types of loot are worth more elixir, and maybe you'll want to focus on those for completing your vault. Keep forgetting to hit that button. Another champion. Super lucky that I got away with that one without getting hurt too much more. doesn't look like I'm going to get enough juice here to complete off this vault, so we're going to have to head back up and get on out of here now that now that we're under 5 minutes. Okay, I need to orient myself because I'm kind of turned around here, so I'm going to put it on a quick pause. I'm going to think about it, and then I'll come back and explain my thinking because I don't have a lot of time to do it on camera. All right, so I need to head east. So I almost turned the wrong way here. Oh, and I can't run because I have no saturation. Overall, not a bad vault. Like, I actually killed 2 champions. And we've got a few minutes, 3 minutes here. So this is why I always leave the first room. Just because I now have a little buffer of time where I don't have to worry about being lost, finding my way back. I can do the super slow process of grabbing some coins here. Oh, he spawned in behind me. Which is a little bit spooky, but... Oh, if I had wooden chest affinity, this would be a juicy vein mine right there. But no such thing at this point in the early game, so... kind of them to all kind of drop off the face of the earth. And I almost dropped off the face of the earth as well. One minute left, so we want to go south. Because we came in from we headed north at the first one, so just a shame we ended up that short. So maybe if I had killed all those baby slimes at those points of interest at the beginning, I would have been all right, but alas, I did not. So we are leaving here. So this is one of the big important things about having the shard pouch and the related quest reward that it gives you, which is the bag, right? Like, I filled up this is all excellent stuff that I need, as well as everything in my inventory here. I guess some of this stuff I don't need. Now that we're on the final 15 seconds, it gives us the warning sign to make your heart stop. But we can escape on out of there. So we're going to come to the survived. It's not completed. I'd get a lot more experience if I had completed it. But this will give you a breakdown on how we did in the vault. Tells you the vault seed, vault level, experience multiplier, all the stuff that we did. So coin piles, ores, treasure rooms, chests, mobs unalived, the amount of damage dealt, the amount of damage received, and then you can break down the vault a little bit in here. A couple of the modifiers that we have, especially while you're under level 20, Beginner's Insurance and Beginner's Grace. So if we die, we would keep our everything in our inventory, but like it would damage our gear a little bit because you get a durability penalty. And Beginner's Insurance means none of the chests that we look in will be trapped. This will tell us all about the chests that we looted. So these are the gilded chests, living chests, wooden chests, and ornate chests. We didn't see any of the other kinds of chests. These are all the different kinds of mobs that we killed and the amount of experience that we got for killing said mobs. And nothing on the multiplayer tab, obviously. So we can claim our vault experience, which is 6,747. And to get to level 1, we only need 1,000. So we're going to level up a couple of times here at the start. And just so happens that we only go up 3 levels. So that's super unfortunate because I would have liked to have hit at least level 4 so that I could pick up that level in speed. But we're just basically going to go into the next vaults without spending any of those points. But we'll be able to complete off some more of the quests here because we now have the items we need to make the bounty table. We can accept a bounty, we can make a tool station, we'll be able to make some vault tools, but all of this I will cover in the next episode because this one has been quite long, doing a beginner's introduction to Vault Hunters, so I apologize for those people that are familiar with Vault Hunters and didn't need all of that explaining. Thought I would do that for the people that might not be familiar with it and might be interested in it. Might be something you've heard of and might be something you want to get into because it gives you a lot of stuff to do in addition to just normal Minecraft. Anyways, that's it for this episode. I appreciate you all for checking out the video, and we will see you in the next one.